News from Shams Charania. The Charlotte Hornets are trading star guard LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks.
In a seismic shift that has sent shockwaves across the NBA, the Charlotte Hornets have pulled the trigger on a blockbuster trade. Star guard LaMelo Ball, a fan favorite and electrifying talent, is on his way to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This isn't just a player swap, it's a strategic detonation, reshaping 2 franchises in an instant. The Hornets receive Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks. This is a massive haul of draft capital, signaling a complete pivot for Charlotte. But what does it mean for the Timberwolves, who are seemingly howling on Anthony Edwards? And why would the Hornets part ways with a player many consider their cornerstone? This trade is far more complex than it appears on the surface, revealing deep organizational philosophies and high-stakes gambles. This isn't just breaking news, it's a what just happened moment that demands immediate answers. The initial shock gives way to a torrent of questions. Is LaMelo Ball truly the missing piece for Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves? Did Charlotte get enough for a player of Ball's caliber, or are they selling low on a prodigious talent? And what about the long-term implications for both teams? Minnesota is clearly pushing all its chips to the center of the table, making a desperate bid for immediate contention in a loaded Western Conference. They've been star hunting for cycles, and now they've landed one. But at what cost? We're talking about sacrificing precious draft capital and significant roster depth. For Charlotte, this move feels less about incremental improvement, and more about a fundamental rebuilding of their identity around a new core. Are they admitting a mistake with their past strategy, or are they simply playing the long game with extraordinary precision? The trade details themselves, multiple first-round swaps, an unprotected future pick, speak volumes about the Hornets' desire to control their destiny for years to come. What does this radical reshuffle mean for the balance of power in both conferences? The ripple effects will be felt for...
Windy, there's a lot of back-of-the-envelope math going on right now. What more do we know?
All right, let's eat this elephant one bite at a time, okay? Let's start from Minnesota. Minnesota, this is a move to get Ant Edwards the kind of backcourt running mate that he needs. Ant Edwards was a guy that people, after Giannis getting traded, were like, is this the next star player to be traded? He has watched Karl-Anthony Towns go to New York in a trade that ended up not working out and win a champion.
Let's dissect this trade from Minnesota's perspective, because their motivations are clear and urgent. This is a direct response to the mounting pressure on Anthony Edwards. The Wolves desperately need a backcourt running mate for their burgeoning superstar. Edwards has watched other stars, like Karl-Anthony Towns, achieve success elsewhere, and the narrative around his future was starting to build. He's tired of carrying the offensive load, tired of facing constant double teams. This trade is a definitive statement from the Timberwolves front office. We are here to win, and we will do whatever it takes to support our franchise player. They believe LaMelo Ball's dynamic scoring and playmaking will instantly alleviate pressure on Edwards, creating an offensive synergy that Minnesota hasn't seen in years. This isn't just about adding talent, it's about addressing a core strategic weakness and making their star happy. The vision for Minnesota is an electrifying backcourt duo that can light up the scoreboard. Imagine LaMelo Ball's effortless three-point shooting and court vision alongside Anthony Edwards' explosive drives and developing perimeter game. The threat of a double team on Edwards suddenly becomes a death sentence, as Ball can punish defenses from anywhere. This is a high-risk, high-reward strategy. They're betting on LaMelo's offensive wizardry to unlock Ant's full potential. But it's not without its profound sacrifices. The Timberwolves have, in essence, emptied their entire draft cupboard. They've given away future flexibility for immediate impact. This means their margin for error is razor-thin. If this experiment doesn't work, Minnesota could be staring down a barren future with no draft assets to pivot. Are they making a championship move, or mortgaging their future for a fleeting moment? The cost of securing Ball has been astronomical, leaving their roster with significant holes. Can this new, star-studded duo overcome the inherent imbalances created by such a dramatic asset drain? It's a gamble of epic proportions.
Where is his mind, his head at? He's tired of being double-teamed. They get him a dynamic scorer in the backcourt. You throw a double team in Ant Edwards with LaMelo Ball on the court, you are playing with fire. LaMelo will drop 10 three-pointers on you in the blink of an eye. And so this is what their move is. To accomplish this, they are basically emptying their coffers. They are giving up, because this is going to end up sort of combining with the Julius Randle deal. They're trading.
The Timberwolves' approach is stark. They are going all in, consequences be damned. The belief is that LaMelo Ball's offensive firepower is precisely what Anthony Edwards needs. He's a dynamic scorer who will command defensive attention, forcing opponents to make impossible choices. Double-team Ant Edwards and Ball will make you pay with a flurry of three-pointers. This synergy is central to Minnesota's strategy. However, this aggressive pursuit comes at a monumental cost. They are effectively emptying their coffers, sacrificing depth and size in the process. With the departure of key big men like Julius Randle and Naz Reid, they are trading big for small in a Western Conference that increasingly values size and physicality. It's a bold move that flies in the face of conventional wisdom, prioritizing offensive dynamism over traditional frontcourt strength. This isn't just a trade, it's a declaration of war on opposing defenses, albeit with a potentially exposed underbelly. Minnesota's war chest of draft picks and assets is now essentially depleted. The price for LaMelo Ball was steep, leaving the Timberwolves with limited flexibility to further improve their roster through the draft for the foreseeable future. This trade compounds the impact of previous deals, painting a picture of a franchise that has pushed all its chips to the center of the table. They've made their bed, now they have to lie in it. The question isn't just if LaMelo Ball makes them better, but if the collective sacrifice leaves them too vulnerable elsewhere. Can they truly contend for a title by going smaller in a league dominated by giants? This is the ultimate test of their strategic vision. Now let's shift our focus to the Charlotte Hornets, a team that has made an equally shocking decision. Why would they trade a player many thought was the face of their franchise? What could possibly drive such a drastic change in direction? The answer lies in a calculated pivot towards a new future.
This is a pivot to Con Knippel as their franchise player. They'll move away from LaMelo Ball. They will give themselves an opportunity to give a great pick-and-roll partner for Con Knippel to play with, and then there will be fallout. Fallout is, with Ball out of the way and his contract off the books, they can focus on re-signing Coby White, who they traded for during last season and was really good for them. They can give him starters money to be their starting point guard.
All right, there are financials in there.
For the Charlotte Hornets, this trade represents a definitive pivot. They are officially moving on from LaMelo Ball and placing their faith squarely in the hands of Con Knippel as their new franchise player. This isn't just a transactional move, it's an ideological shift, signaling a new era for the Hornets. With Ball's substantial contract off the books, Charlotte gains significant financial flexibility and can now focus on building a team tailored to Knippel's strengths. The potential resigning of Coby White, who proved to be a valuable asset last season, is a direct outcome of this newfound cap space. They envision White as Knippel's ideal backcourt partner, providing a dynamic pick and roll tandem. This move allows Charlotte to reset their timeline, shed an expensive contract, and construct a roster around players they believe are their long-term future. It's a clear statement. Out with the old, in with the new, focusing on a healthier and perhaps more stable foundation. Was LaMelo Ball truly seen as a dead end for this franchise? The Hornets' decision to move on from LaMelo Ball is a bold gamble, but one clearly rooted in a desire for long-term clarity and a fresh start. They've decided that Knippel is their guy, and they're going all in on building around him. This pivot suggests that the Hornets were perhaps never fully convinced LaMelo was the right leader for their franchise, or at least not the one to lead them to sustained success. This isn't just about trading a player, it's about making a philosophical choice regarding team identity and direction. They've cleared the deck not just of Ball's contract, but also of the expectations that came with him. The focus is now on developing a cohesive unit that can grow together, unburdened by past struggles. This trade gives them the assets and financial breathing room to truly sculpt a roster around Knippel and potentially Brandon Miller. It's a calculated risk, but one that Charlotte believes will pay dividends down the line. But what does this say about their true assessment of LaMelo's tenure?
This is the Charlotte Hornets saying they thought that their success last year with LaMelo Ball as a driving force was fool's gold. This is them saying we do not believe in LaMelo Ball. Yes, they squeezed the Wolves for everything they could, but this is not a superstar return package. This is moving LaMelo Ball when they had an opportunity to move on with their franchise. And for the Wolves,
Tim McMahon's assessment is brutally honest and cuts straight to the core of the Hornets' decision. He states that Charlotte viewed their recent success with LaMelo Ball as fool's gold. This is a damning indictment, suggesting that despite his highlight reel plays and popularity, the Hornets ultimately did not believe in Ball as the cornerstone of a championship contending team. They squeezed the Wolves for everything they could, yes, but McMahon emphasizes that this was not a superstar return package. This implies that Ball's trade value wasn't as high as some might have perceived, or that the Hornets prioritized getting out from under him. This isn't just a strategic trade, it's a vote of no confidence in LaMelo Ball's ability to be the guy for the franchise. They seized an opportunity to move on, suggesting they had reached a ceiling with him at the helm. It begs the question, what hidden issues or concerns led to such a decisive break? The term "fool's gold" is incredibly telling. It paints a picture of a franchise that grew disillusioned with what they saw, even amidst the flashes of brilliance. Perhaps LaMelo's inconsistent health, defensive liabilities, or overall leadership didn't align with their long-term vision. This trade then becomes less about acquiring a massive haul for a superstar, and more about a strategic exit from a situation they no longer believed in. For the Timberwolves, however, this trade is a swing for the fences. It's a clear message to Anthony Edwards and the rest of the league. Minnesota is all in. They are telling other front offices, stay away from our star. We are building around him. This decisive move is designed to reassure Edwards of the team's commitment to winning immediately. The front office consulted him, involved him, and delivered the kind of co-star he reportedly desired. This is a moment of truth for the Wolves. A high-stakes gamble on a partnership that could redefine their franchise. But what happens if LaMelo doesn't fully embrace the co-star role?
This is a swing, and this is telling all those vultures that are circling from other front offices, go somewhere else. Shoot, get away from here, because this is a move that is telling Anthony Edwards, we are all in to win right now. And obviously, Ant was involved in this. Ant was consulted in this, and this is something that he wanted. He wanted to be paired.
For the Minnesota Timberwolves, this trade is unequivocally a swing. It's a bold declaration to the entire league, specifically targeting those vultures circling around Anthony Edwards. The message is loud and clear. Back off. This move tells Edwards, in no uncertain terms, that the organization is all in to win, and to win now. The critical detail here is Edwards' involvement and consultation in the process. He wanted this pairing, he wanted another potential star, and the front office delivered. This signifies a newfound commitment to their franchise player, creating a united front. It's a high-stakes gamble designed to appease their superstar and accelerate their timeline, demonstrating an aggressive pursuit of immediate contention. But can LaMelo, still unproven as a consistent superstar, truly fulfill that role alongside Edwards without overshadowing him or disrupting team chemistry? The Timberwolves are betting big on the chemistry between Edwards and Ball, hoping their combined offensive firepower can overcome any roster deficiencies. This trade is a massive investment in their perimeter future, signaling a shift in how they intend to compete. However, the caveat is crucial. LaMelo Ball has not yet proven himself as a superstar in this league. He's undeniably talented, but injuries and consistency have been concerns. This makes Minnesota's gamble even riskier. Furthermore, the trade presents a significant stylistic and defensive shift. In a Western Conference increasingly defined by size and defensive versatility, the Timberwolves are arguably getting smaller and worse defensively. While they have Rudy Gobert as an anchor, the departures of Randle and Reed leave major holes. This is a vote of confidence in young players like Johan Berenguet, but it's a huge ask for them to step into significant roles immediately. Is it possible they sacrifice too much defense for offense? The path to championship contention in the West is notoriously brutal. Can they survive it with this new, potentially imbalanced roster?
Another potential star. And I say potential because LaMelo Ball has not proven himself as a superstar in this league yet.
It seems like trying to win a different way as well. I mean, all morning, Brian, you've been talking about size, specifically in the Western Conference. And this is a team that gets smaller and arguably worse defensively.
Well, they have Rudy Gobert, who is...
The nuance around LaMelo Ball's potential star status is crucial. He hasn't consistently proven himself as a superstar in this league, which tempers the excitement of this blockbuster trade. This distinction is vital when assessing the true value exchanged. Perhaps even more concerning is the shift in team identity for Minnesota. In a Western Conference dominated by size and defensive prowess, the Timberwolves are now arguably smaller and worse defensively. This flies in the face of what many analysts believe is necessary for championship contention. While Rudy Gobert remains a defensive anchor, the loss of other big men in defensive versatility could expose them, especially in critical playoff matchups. It's a clear strategic trade-off, prioritizing offensive dynamism over defensive solidity. A gamble that could either pay off handsomely or leave them deeply vulnerable. How much pressure does this put on Gobert and their young bigs? This strategic pivot by Minnesota, opting for a smaller, more offensively dynamic lineup, creates significant questions about their ability to withstand the rigors of the Western Conference. They're banking on outscoring opponents, a strategy that often falters in the playoffs when defense tightens. The expectation is that LaMelo Ball's offensive prowess, combined with Anthony Edwards, will compensate for any defensive regression. But it's a delicate balance, and history shows that strong defensive foundations are often the bedrock of sustained success. Meanwhile, back in Charlotte, the sentiment is surprisingly upbeat for the Hornets. Many are calling this a win for them, not just for the draft capital, but for the fundamental shift in their organizational philosophy. They are reportedly thrilled with the return, seeing it as an opportunity to truly redefine their future. It seems they've successfully navigated a difficult situation, extracting significant value for a player they were ready to move on from. But is this collective sigh of relief a premature celebration?
I think the Hornets did great here. I don't have all.
They should be. Well, the trade can't happen until July 6th. But if it could happen today, I would be on with the league office like right now.
Yeah, and high marks for Charlotte.
Saying what? Just making sure it gets through.
Get this.
The reaction to Charlotte's side of the trade is surprisingly strong and positive. The sentiment from some analysts is that the Hornets did great here, even expressing a desire to fast-track the trade if possible, humorously suggesting they'd be on at the league office, like right now. This enthusiasm stems from the perception that Charlotte extracted maximum value from LaMelo Ball, particularly given his health concerns and perceived limitations as a solo franchise player. The high marks for Charlotte suggest that many in the league believe they expertly navigated a challenging situation, turning a potentially stagnant asset into a wealth of future flexibility. This contrasts sharply with the initial fan reaction, which might see trading a popular star as a loss. It implies a deep behind-the-scenes understanding of Ball's true market value and the Hornets' strategic needs. So, what exactly did Charlotte gain beyond the draft picks? This glowing assessment for the Hornets underlies a fundamental disconnect between public perception and front office reality. While fans mourn the loss of a highlight reel talent, executives see a team that shrewdly leveraged an asset for future security. They've managed to shed an expensive contract and acquire the kind of draft capital that fuels rebuilds. Conversely, the analysis of Minnesota's side of the deal paints a starker, more concerning picture. They traded Julius Randle and Naz Reid for LaMelo Ball, not even including the draft picks they also surrendered. This leaves critical questions about their size and depth, particularly in the front court. The Wolves now have limited financial flexibility and an empty draft cupboard, making future roster improvements incredibly challenging. They've paid an exorbitant price, leaving very little room for error. The stakes couldn't be higher for their ambitious Allen strategy. Could this trade leave the Timberwolves with a Tafidi roster, vulnerable to injuries or slumps? The gamble is audacious.
Timberwolves here with limited financial flexibility. You got no draft picks left. The kitty's empty. From Charlotte, they're saying, wait a minute, we won 40-plus games last year, but we're not good enough, right? And as Tim said, a little bit of fool's gold. We still have a good team.
From Minnesota's perspective, the trade details reveal a startling sacrifice. They effectively traded Julius Randle and Naz Reid for LaMelo Ball, and that doesn't even account for the significant draft picks they surrendered. This creates an immediate void in their front court, begging the question, who's playing? Who's your size? In an increasingly physical Western Conference, they've traded away two key forwards for a guard, leaving them potentially undersized. Despite bringing back Ioannis Decimu, there's significant work to do for the Timberwolves with limited financial flexibility and no draft picks left. Their kitty's empty. This stark reality underscores the immense gamble Minnesota has taken, prioritizing offensive dynamism at the expense of crucial depth, size, and future assets. It's a high-wire act, with no safety net of draft picks to fall back on if this big swing doesn't connect perfectly. The Timberwolves' situation is now precarious. They've pushed all their chips in, and the consequences of failure would be severe, potentially setting the franchise back years. The pressure on Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball to deliver immediately is immense, as the team has no other avenues for significant improvement. Meanwhile, the Hornets' calculus is entirely different. They are leveraging their trade exception, which is the game changer. This isn't just about draft picks, it's about unparalleled financial power. This enormous trade exception allows them to be aggressive in the market, adding significant talent around their new core without dipping into their cap space. It's a powerful tool that transforms their rebuilding process from a slow grind into a potential acceleration. This newfound flexibility changes everything for Charlotte. Are we witnessing one of the most masterful rebuilds in modern NBA history unfolding before our eyes?